Hello everyone, my name's Chris, and I have a question for you. Have you ever imagined living in a world where you commute to work, or need to get where you need to go without even having to touch the steering wheel of your car? Where undesirable events, such as car crashes, being pulled over by the police, and being stuck in a traffic jam were a thing in the past? Well, that world is now a possibility with the invention of the self-driving car. The self-driving car is rapidly rising in significance. To fully understand this rising significance, one has to discuss three elements. 1. Where the self-driving car technology is today. 2. Where the technology will be in the future. And 3. What are the possible advantages and disadvantages of self-driving cars? So now, let us dive into the current state of self-driving cars. Self-driving cars are currently in the beginning developmental process and developmental stages. In fact, Nicole Blake Johnson of State Tech Magazine reports that just the testing of self-driving cars is legal in but only 4 states. These 4 states are comprised of California, Michigan, Florida, and Nevada. Also, Washington, D.C., or the District of Columbia also permits the testing of self-driving cars. Another thing to address is who is the company behind this innovative pursuit, and it's not what one would expect. Is it perhaps Ford? Maybe General Motors? No. Is it maybe some other foreign car maker? Not quite. The company behind this innovative pursuit is in fact Google. Google currently possesses a fleet of customized Toyota Priuses and Lexus vehicles equipped with self-driving technology. One may ask, why Google? Well, this question is answered in a 2011 article by Ulrika Guizzo of the IEEE Spectrum. For those who don't know, IEEE stands for the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. According to Guizzo, Google makes sense as a backer for the self-driving car because the technology to successfully operate the car takes a tremendous amount of computing power and also data collection. The cars currently use a 64-beam roof-mounted laser to take in incredible amounts of information about its surroundings and react appropriately. With this superior processing power and a practically instantaneous reaction time, the car could easily outdrive the current human driver and better react to obstacles and instructions in its way. Burkhard Bilger of The New Yorker and Adam Fisher of Popular Science magazine both identify Anthony Lewandowski as a prominent individual working on the self-driving car initiative for Google in Oakland, California, according to articles published in 2013. Every day, Lewandowski commutes to work in his customized self-driving Lexus, allowing the car to research and gather data about its various driving conditions and surroundings, and also allows Lewandowski to compensate for any errors the car may experience. Ironically, this car is actually a source for many distractions for other drivers who continuously gawk and even photograph the car while they themselves are driving. There is still obviously much more work to be done before the self-driving car becomes genuinely practical, which leads us to discuss what's next for the future of the self-driving car. As we discussed earlier, self-driving cars are still in their infancy, although research and development is rapidly taking off. Sage Lazaro, a contributor to the New York Observer's Innovation section on March 15, 2015, expressed that self-driving car experiments will be undergone in 6 to 10 cities within the United States and areas in the United Kingdom during this year. Lazaro expects that number of cities in the United States performing experiments and working on projects will expand to 30 by the end of 2016. In addition, the vehicles are going beyond private passenger vehicles and expanding to public transportation, including full-size buses and even Army medic transportation vehicles. Researchers will be conducting the experiments in semi-controlled environments where there will be common traffic situations and variants, such as college campuses, theme parks, downtown vicinities, and much more. Adam Fisher from Popular Science also discusses some aspects for the future of the self-driving car. Evidently, Nissan hopes to have a self-driving, or as it's also called, autonomous model available on the market by 2020. Even with experimentation expanding rapidly, it will still be many, many more years before the self-driving car becomes common and actualized, and these reasons are not just limited to the technology. Fisher, Guizzo, and many more express how legal and liability issues will become more prominent as self-driving cars become more available. It will take a massive amount of time for rules, regulations, and legislation to be created to manage the growth and implementation of self-driving car technology. Considering these issues of legality, let us transition to the next aspect of self-driving cars, the advantages and disadvantages. There are many advantages and disadvantages associated with the rise of self-driving cars. A major advantage discussed by The Economist in a 2013 article regarding self-driving cars is that the carnage associated with car wrecks and accidents will become a thing of the past. Once technology is fully developed and perfected, the element of human error within traffic flow will be almost non-existent. Self-driving cars would analyze and react to potentially hazardous situations and events in the fraction of the time it would take a human being, thus saving thousands of lives. Nicole Blake Johnson also does a magnificent job in her article of discussing advantages and disadvantages of self-driving cars. Three main advantages Johnson focuses on are the time saved commuting, far more efficient utilization of road space, and then higher speed limits. Since the car's calibration would be optimized and all vehicles would have the ability to instantaneously communicate, vehicles could operate in tighter confines, utilize greater volume of the road, and thus drive at higher speeds. In addition, cars would be able to drop off their passengers and then park themselves. Although Johnson also addresses important disadvantages. To start with, each car could potentially cost a staggering $100,000. Also, another major disadvantage is those who provide public transit, such as bus drivers and taxi drivers, and then of course the valets that are involved with parking cars would potentially see their jobs disappear. Another major problem is that networks and software are vulnerable to hackers. Considering that this technology is at the heart of self-driving cars, this creates a massive privacy and safety issue. Self-driving cars may also not be able to react to inclement weather conditions, such as rain, snow, sleet, or whatever else causes tremendously hazardous driving conditions. Another major problem is that self-driving cars currently lack the ability to recognize traffic signals as we react to them with the three-color system. So thus, new infrastructure for traffic lights would have to be created. So clearly there are many prominent advantages and disadvantages associated with self-driving cars. This concludes the discussion of the rising significance of self-driving cars, the current state of self-driving cars, what's in store for them in the future, and the tremendous advantages and disadvantages demonstrate why the significance of self-driving cars is on the rise. That world of a perfect commute is in the process of becoming a reality, and we could see it happening within the next several decades. One can sum up the rise of the self-driving cars with this one statement: it's not what you can do for your car, but what your car can do for you. Thank you everyone for your time, for listening to this presentation, and please, drive safe. Thank you.